Hi, everybody. This is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. I thank you so much for stopping by. And as always, I send you love. Um, I'm going to try and tie things here together today that took place, and of course, in my previous video. I'm going to do my best. And now that, my brain is finally working, a funny thing is, now that I'm having these thoughts come through, and of course my words are coming through, and it may not really make sense, and I'm all over the place, and I know that, and I do apologize that I am all over the place. But the purpose of all of it, and I hope that you can understand, is that I'm taking an action here. My action, my behavior now has changed. Something else has clicked, which means that I have learned something. But last night, I was up for a little while longer than I really wanted to be, and my brain was really going. And I really wanted to make myself get up so that I could write some things down, do a little bit more research. But I ended up settling down. I was like, okay, well, you know what? God has given me this gift here, and I'm not going to abuse it right now. I'm going to settle down. I know that if I don't have enough sleep, tomorrow is going to be a rough day for me. So let's just try to, silent the mind. And then whatever happens tomorrow, let's let it be. And of course, that could have been a wrong mistake on my part too. Maybe Spirit was really trying to make me get out of bed and do lots of work. I don't know. And I'm not going to beat myself up for that. I made a decision that was an overall greater decision because I can be at my best behavior today. And I think that's the key. If we are making decisions that are overall for the greatest good, then we are probably doing things correctly, you see. And what I am really try to do, and it doesn't always work out per what I have been mentioning in my videos here recently, that we should really try not to do things in order to be rewarded for something. We choose to love because loving is really the right thing to do. We all want it for ourselves, so we should want to give it to other people. So no matter what we are doing for other people, we do it because it's right. And it's the same thing that why I understood the value now of exercising. And I'm doing this form of exercise not because, I can say, well, you know what, God's got me. I finally understand the message here that God has given to me about exercising, or even the videos here. But for somebody else who doesn't understand where I'm coming from because they haven't walked in my shoes, well, why would God make you do something? The thing is that I'm not being made to do it. It's a complete difference. It's like when you say, I have to do this today. And you change it to, you know what? I get to do this today. And it's funny that I'm actually saying that because my husband brought this up a few days ago, that he ended up seeing a friend of ours posting something like this on their profile, and how it's changing his perspective in life. And that's exactly what took place for me in my life, how 5 or 6 years ago or 10 years ago when I started to exercise again. I changed my perception about, I have to, change myself. I have to do this. I have to exercise. I have to get rid of my pain. There's bitterness in that tone. There's judgment in that tone. There's anger in that tone. There's so much resentment in that tone. But I changed it. I get to. Back then, I was hurting all the time, no matter what. But before I flipped the switch, if you will, I said, well, you know what? I'm hurting. I'm just going to sit here then, and I'm going to hurt. Because I'm hurting too much. But then it changed to, you know what, Christy? You are going to hurt regardless of what you do, whether you're walking, you're sitting, laying down, sleeping, moving. You are going to hurt regardless. let's work, let's move for purpose, for a higher purpose. And even, back then I didn't understand that higher purpose. Like I'm just now learning again. Honoring something that speaks through me. So doing things because it is right, but most importantly because it's honoring God and the works within my life. And it's learning to see more of God than myself. That's hurting my heart right here, or giving me a sting, because it's so beautiful. It really is beautiful. Learning to see more of God than myself. The problem that we get in our life is that the brain wants to constantly figure things out. And then the brain goes and makes excuses. The brain goes and makes you feel bad. And that's what it means when we fornicate, or when we abuse ourselves, or go against the 7 deadly sins, okay? Or when we commit the 7 deadly sins. It's not about anything that it is still in relationship to what we perform in our life, because if we are not say a bad person, if we are a person who is unaware of anything, our decisions are reflect that. So we'll probably make terrible decisions and there are bad people. I'm not going to say there are people out there who are making terrible decisions and abuse. That's why there's murdering and everything going on in this reality. The lack of awareness of what it actually is truly doing. Ignorance. And even if I go so far as to say, when we do anything that goes against the Spirit, it defiles us. Do you really understand? Can you really understand what that means? And until you do, you really have to figure this out. And there's nothing that I can really say to you. My examples in my life can't make you comprehend the depth of what the Spirit is. The honoring that I have here, that I'm going to be performing with exercising now, has leveled itself up so much that really creates a gratefulness. It's like truly being somebody who is grateful for life, which means that every single thing, you are honoring it. Honoring it. Because here you are, you get to do something. There are so many things out there, so many people out there who don't have an opportunity, whether it's exercising, having a job out there, being with somebody that they love, who are poor. There's so many things that people do not have that I, for myself, have, that you might have. And yet we still aren't grateful for those things. So how can we really understand or even be more grateful for what God is doing internally? It's really hard to decipher, and that's why learning our own walking our own walk, and learning about it is so essential. Okay, so this is hilarious. I ended up pushing pause to take a quick break, and I came back. I guess I hadn't pushed unpause to continue, and I was just going on, and who knows how long I was speaking. So, this is, now I totally forgot what I was going to say probably, but here it is. I'm at a crossroad here, a temptation, if you will, where now I see, my brain could probably see, this is why I stopped. This is why I stopped making these videos. It's so hard to do. Life gets so hard, and then we end up stopping every single thing, and we end up giving up. So, but I'm not doing that. But this is just an example. And I know I was mentioning how, oh yeah, I ended up talking about time currency. So I'll explain more about that here in a little bit. But I was mentioning how much time it takes to make these videos. And it does become so exhausting. I ended up, taking 30 minutes to edit my yesterday's video, to create it so I can, post it, of course, on YouTube. And then another 30 to 40 minutes doing some reading and researching what I was going to talk about today, or to tie things together. And now here I am working on the video. So that's who knows how long it's going to be. Time. But where we end up spending our time currency is so important. Or using time using our time properly to really give back. Giving back to your loved ones, giving back to those who are in need, and also spending time on yourself. We can't forget, love flows everywhere. But the more that you give selflessly, truly selflessly to other people, and learning the value of what that truly means, of honoring other people, because you know that honoring these people with truth and love, you receive something valuable within yourself. You're going to learn and develop this knowledge and this great strength within yourself, that it develops so much. Like, we don't really necessarily need another human being to give us the love, because God's love fills us. And we will eventually get to such strength. But then again, who knows? Because we live in a world that manifests so quickly, that every time our mind is developing, change happens again. And where that change is going to reflect in our reality, where, again, it's tested. Always. And if it ever stops, if you ever stop being tested, or feeling as if you are not being tested any longer, well, have you stopped your own evolution? We can always give generously, however we see fit. Sometimes you hear about it. Well, mom and dad were always present, or dad was gone working all the time and mom was present. So dad brought in the money, but his time at home was missing. And although he provided the home, the car, maybe the college fund for the kids, what's missing in the children? Dad's time. And it still causes harm. It has to be a balance between our physical time, and then, of course, if you have money to give, that's awesome. But our physical time there for those that we love, and doing those things that make us so uncomfortable, is so essential. It's hard to go out into the world and be there for somebody else when you know that you already have so much going on with maybe your own family or even yourself. It's hard to give up. Okay, I got to sacrifice here now to go help this other person. And who knows how long it's going to take to be there for this person. And then you have to come back and you have to try and catch up on the time that you lost here with the people that you love. And it's hard. It really is. It's hard to manage it. Because it's the brain that's going to make you feel terrible about the time that you are giving up. But the more that you can really train yourself to be there for others, it will get better for yourself on the inside as well. It just takes lots of time. So let's see if I can, I'm going to push pause here and try to go back to what I was actually talking about. And so I think it goes back to what I was talking about, trying to see more of God than myself. So when you also can see more of God in your life than yourself, your voice, that ego that is really trying to prevent you from saying anything else, that's when we can learn something greater, honoring something greater than ourselves. But the trickery thing here, or the difficult thing is that trying to learn which voice is talking. You know, like I said, I thought God was telling me it's okay that I wasn't exercising. It's okay, Christy, that you aren't making these videos anymore. So I thought it was God. Okay, so there's always a couple of voices, several voices. There's so many voices going on because there's so many doubts in our mind. And we have to really, truly try to find out which one is talking. But when you finally figure it out, you're like, oh my gosh, it has been you. You were there, but I was talking to myself. I was convincing myself of something else. And it's really great, though. So I think what I was also trying to say is that this voice, of course, it becomes that divine knowledge. And it's not knowledge that we think we know. No matter what type of stuff you are watching and developing yourself, learning and reading about, that is nothing compared to the knowledge that you are given when you are walking your walk. And that's why it's probably hard for you to understand where I'm coming from when I'm talking about exercise, because it seems so simple. Yeah, of course you're honoring God when you're exercising, Christy. Of course you're honoring your body. You're going to change something. It's a learning, a development that still has to take place at a kindergarten level. And you keep going higher, and you keep going higher, and you keep going higher until finally all you see is God. God is always there. So, like I said before, in my beginning of trying to become fit, I did it for myself. I did it for selfish reasons, to have a better quality of life for myself, to probably, who knows, change, get rid of my husband and find somebody who really loves me. So many egotistical phrases was going on. And that's what we all do. I have to look sexy. I need to fit into the size 0, size 6 jeans. And I want to wear something that makes me feel beautiful, instead of truly feeling beautiful from the inside out. So I'm not exercising right now to look a certain way. I'm not. I'm not even exercising now to feel a certain way. And there has been a change in the way that I feel. Why? Because now I have honored something. Something that has been trying to teach me something. Things are always stagnant inside of us and feel heavy, sickly, tired when we are neglecting something. But also when we start to move that energy around. Like today, I did wake up. I woke up really tired. Did I sleep well last night? Hit and miss. I was up a lot, but I know I went back to sleep after being awake several times. But my eyes feel tired today. And if I wanted to, I could probably go to sleep. And my eyes are tired, which means that I was really afraid I'm not going to make any sense today in my videos. That means that my brain isn't probably working properly. Lots of things can come into play when we aren't feeling well. But just because I'm not feeling well doesn't mean that something, and I'm not saying I'm not feeling well, but something isn't right. Something's different than it was yesterday than it is today. Something's different. And that difference sometimes, many times, has the ability of making us not move forward. So maybe today I'm feeling this way because I'm at a test again. Are you going to just sit around or not make these videos or not exercise? What are you going to do about it? And it's not a guarantee that this haziness, fogginess is going to move today. But I'm still doing something, okay? And I don't know if it's right or wrong yet. I don't know if it's right or wrong. It takes some time for us to figure things out, regardless. But I know that my body in itself, there's there is this change that has taken place just from these, 4 or 5 days, and I haven't exercised yet today. I decided to go ahead and start with the video, and let's see what my motivation is, or my strength is, later on today with exercising. But I'm already in my gear, and so I'm ready to go as soon as I can afterwards. And so this knowledge that we obtain because we have done our own work, we've walked that walk, we've taken the X amount of time that it has taken to understand something. It has to be shared. It's going to share within its seed within the heart, and that's why, did I tell a story? See, now I don't know if I'm repeating myself or not. And if I am repeating myself, I'm sorry. It's going to seed in our heart. And I was talking about, when I wasn't recording, these seeds, about when I was watching The Chosen. And again, if I've already mentioned this today, again, I apologize for repeating it. But because of the pause, now my brain, of course, is foggy, and I've forgotten what I was already talking about previously. But in The Chosen, it talks about, or there's a scene in there where the sons of thunder are plowing a field. And here they are, they're like, yeah, awesome, we're doing this for the overall good. Because we're going to be doing this for the generations to come. They thought in their mind that they are going to be feeding people who are following Christ throughout generations. That anytime that they came through this field, they are going to be fed with something. But when they found out who this field was actually for, they were so upset. And they went and spoke to Jesus about it, or they went to walk with Jesus anyway and spoke to him. Were going to speak to him about it, and then they were approached by the townspeople, and the townspeople started throwing rocks and stuff at them and Jesus, and they were like, "No, Jesus, give us the power, give us the fire to go over there and to destroy them, and we will kill them all for you, Jesus." And Jesus was like, "Seriously, did you not learn about why I had you plow that field and seed the field?" And when Jesus had really explained it to them, that they are seeding of the field for generations to come. And I've already said that. But when we are allowing these seeds to grow, it does take time. And I also mentioned that this is what I was talking to with my sister, my older sister, because her and I, we talk occasionally, mostly through text because of her time difference, but how difficult it is to really do and be a good person, to love and give, to place good seeds continuously that are going to grow something and produce something. It's really difficult because we will not, more than likely, see the results in this lifetime. We might not see the results in this lifetime. And that's where it hurts. And I told my sister, we're not doing it. We're not supposed to do it to receive anything back. But in time, these seeds of love, our children are going to see these seeds of love. They're going to spread it. And then their children, and then their children, And that's harsh for the mind, the ego, to love. It doesn't like it one bit, and it makes it, oh, you got to stop this. No, it is not worth it. So let's go back to being the other person who is more bitter, more conniving, because that's easier to deal with. It's easier to deal with. But that's what we're doing when that divine knowledge is developed within the throat. That word, the fresh, beautiful word, it goes and seeds within our heart. But then that seed has to go to good ground in the earth. But the earth within us has to work with our sexual waters as well. Because in order for anything to grow, it has to have water, good water, to produce anything. And that's the cycle that we have to deal with. And in order for us to even become a master or that priest in that development, We have to understand that. And so in the Bible, we know that there are verses about being given bread or fish and wine. But we are not to live by bread alone either, but by the word. So if you can't distinguish between the word that you are given, that knowledge that you are given, that's where it becomes more difficult. When you can really understand all of that, you go through your sacraments. You are living through your sacraments. And if we're going through the sacraments, we're going through penance. We're going through the 40 days. And the 40 days for you can be different right now. So don't just hear, I'm talking about 40 days in the wilderness where Christ is being tempted. And just because I'm saying that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be here at that point. You are still dealing with 40 days. 40 days deals with water. How our sexual waters are being utilized in its purification process. Because again, there are so many levels to that purification process. We deal with the waterways continuously. And so don't feel bad about it. And don't put so much stress upon your life. Things just have to make sense. If everything that I talk about makes sense, or some things make sense, you probably are at that point. But if it doesn't, don't hold doubt in your path either. Because maybe you just haven't gotten to that level of understanding, and that's okay. We have to have our experiences to teach us something. So I think I'm just going to end it here today. Since I kind of messed up on my video, I have lost concentration on what I was actually going to talk about. But again, it's great to really be here discussing things with you guys and making that connection. And I know I guess it's more so for my benefit here right now because I have learned something greater than myself through this experience. Oh, I do want to mention, what is it? That channel. So yesterday, after I uploaded my video, I ended up seeing Spirit Science, their channel, and I watched their video. And I don't know when it was actually posted. It was posted 3 days ago. And so I listened to it about their complications that he's been going through, or they have been going through with the channel. And I was like, oh, I totally get this. I am so right there. I totally understand. So my heart felt, I give everything here emotionally, not everything, because, I send out so much love to that channel. I've watched, again, a couple of their videos throughout my time here. I don't know how many, but I know they have helped so many people. So, of course, it hurts when people hurt. We know that, right? I know that what this channel is going through is going to make them stronger. Just like what I had to go through. We all have to go through our own walk in order to understand what is coming out of it. And, of course, I know that was expressed in their video, that they know that they're just going to come out stronger. But they're still asking for support. So I wanted to add that to this video. Of course, if you are so inclined to send out anything to this channel to help in their, what is going on within them, then of course, by all means, you guys do so. Remember that, I don't know if I'm not going to add anything else. So, much love, health, and healing away. This is Christy. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.